Hey, everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're in my corner, and I have a very special guest in the corner with his party hat on. Would you like to unveil your secret identity to the masses?
My name is Owen Thomas, and I am in League of Legends. I am Twisted Fate and Victor, and in The Walking Dead, I am Omid.
Now, it was really cool to do a little bit of research into League of Legends because all of the staff plays it, but me. So, I always hear them talk in this weird lingo that I don't understand because I'm still sitting in my StarCraft corner or my Terra corner or whatever, and they're all playing League, so I always have to go to them and be like, "What does this dude do?" or "What does they do?" And
What does they do?
what does
Yeah.
they do? I don't even know because if you listen to people talk about the game and you have no idea about the game, it just sounds like another language.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm unfortunately with you on that because I play StarCraft, and that is plenty for me. I feel I waste enough time. I should play more League of Legends, but when I meet people who play the game and they're like, "Did you bling the blang ever with the thing?" and I'm like, "I don't know what you're saying to me." So.
Well, I have to ask now. Now it's mandatory that I ask. What race do you play in StarCraft?
I play a Terran. For some reason, that one's comfortable to me. I keep getting my butt kicked, but some reason I like it.
Those dang Koreans, all the time. Well, it's a rule that Koreans are the best at StarCraft. They have a national like sports team for it and like 8 channels for it. It's a big deal in Korea.
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely have heard that. People have died playing it for too long. I've heard as well.
That is a scary thought. I've never carrier rushed for that long, but
Well, your priorities are in whack.
sorry, too busy doing this radio thing. I know it's kind of lame. Anyway, for the listeners out there who might be unfamiliar with your work, how did you initially get into acting? Because a lot of people, they're born right from the womb and they're already singing and dancing. But other people, they have to kind of get through high school and join a drama team and things like that. So what sparked your interest?
Um, I was really late to the game. I played music growing up a lot, but I was always trying to be responsible. And so I actually only got into acting at about age 30. I'd never done anything before. I was in grad school and hated it. And so I dropped out and started trying to get into acting. And it was just like the second I started doing it, I think it was what I was meant to do. So, and I think not getting into it for so long helped me develop a good business sense, like showing up on time, which a lot of actors have trouble with. So I think that helped me a lot.
I can understand that because I think a lot of people who start, into acting, especially we see it a lot in the anime fandom, and I always make fun of these people, and I mean no harm, but those people are like, I will just be an anime voice actor and that's it. And they have no real broad sense of the entire spectrum. Like you have to take classes and be on time and receive harsh criticism and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and also in addition, I love doing video games because they're so much fun and creative. And then I'll, finish that gig and go to a gig where I need caffeine to make it through because it's so boring. Um, and that's the other side. I mean, again, I'm not complaining because most of those ones pay really well, so I'm not really complaining. But definitely, that's what I tell people is your main talent should be making the boring interesting because most of the things you read are going to be boring.
I'm assuming ads about apples or something.
Or no, no. See, that's even more exciting. Medical narration, for instance. And right now, I've signed a non-disclosure agreement, so I can only say so much. But I'm helping a computer to learn how to speak like me. So I just say sentences from the news for hours on end.
Well, I mean, the medical one sounds a little bit worse because you have those huge words that you've never seen before, and you're like, how do I say that?
Yeah, they have a doctor on staff, and they basically have the doctor come and coach me how to say it. And they're like, these 13 syllable words. And my job is to make it sound natural. And they joked one time. They said, until we can breed a doctor that can speak well, you're it.
It kind of reminds me, and this is an offshot reference. I'm a fan of America's Next Top Model. I
Mhm.
remember in one season they had all the girls like act on stage, and they had to read this really dramatic, they're dying, in the hospital bed script, and they just had these words that were ridiculous. ridiculous. So like it's like a tongue twister you can't get your head around because you don't know what half of it means.
Exactly. And I used to watch that show just because they made them do these challenges that had nothing to do with modeling. It's like, and now you're going to run through a bunch of tires or something like that. Ridiculous.
Exactly. That's what's so enjoyable about it because they're prissy, so they're like, "Oh my God, I gotta run and sweat."
And have to do nothing with, modeling.
Exactly.
But that's the part that I think a lot of people don't understand about the business is that it really is about being able to do just about anything they throw to you. And I'd say it's very rare that I say I'm not even going to audition for that. I usually give everything a try. But I've had a series of pretty close friends want to give voice acting a try, and I have none of them have made it in the sense that they just basically said, "I'm done. This is too hard."
Well, I can understand that to a degree because when before I started this, I was one of those. This is why I make fun of them. I was one of those. I just want to voice act in anime. Obviously, I was like 15, 16, so I didn't have any idea what I was talking about. But then when I started radio, not only did I like radio a lot more, but I talked to you guys, and you guys warned me away. Like, no, turn away. It's horrible. So
Oh no, no. I always encourage people to give it a try, but just I want them to go into it with, expectations, like proper expectations. And that one of my best friends, he went pretty far. He signed with my agent and was doing these auditions. And then one day he calls me. He's like, "Dude, I don't know if I can do this." I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Because this is like a full-time job, man." I was like, "I'm going to kill you, man. I told you that ahead of time." But you
oh
know,
god, I worked.
advice only goes so far.
It's like that. That's like some of my staff that I get. Like I'm gonna make fun of my staff now. It's time to make fun of everybody today.
Oh,
Uh,
please do.
yes, where it's like hey, you said you could do this, this, and this. Oh well, I didn't think it would take that much time to do this, this, and this. You said you could do it because I'm the person who yells at everybody. So any work that nobody's doing goes onto my shoulders, and I have to do.
Well,
So.
what is the phrase? Delegation is a hallmark of good leadership.
If only they'd listen. I'm shaking
Yes.
my fist and I wish you could see my expression right now. Anyway, on the plus side though, besides the medical jargon, you do get to let out your frustration being very interesting characters in games like League of Legends. I mean, the two characters you play are vastly different from each other.
Yeah, and it's funny to me because I meet people who play the game avidly, and I'll tell them I'm Twisted Fate, and they're like, "Wow!" And I was like, "And Victor," and they're like, "Oh." I was like, "What's up with Victor?" Apparently, he's just not a good character, from what I understand, or not a strong one, or something like that.
Well,
Um,
it was funny. The voice when I was listening to clips for Victor, all I could think of was StarCraft. I'm not gonna even gonna lie. Like it reminds me of like an Archon.
oh yeah, yeah, completely. I mean, there's definitely overlap in there, and my job ended with the Russian accent and being, trying to be as deep as possible. But they took over the rest with the effects, and that's the other thing is people like, well, that doesn't sound like the game when I do it. I'm like, well, see, I can only do so much, man.
Yeah, you need like helium or something to
Yeah,
like get the other effects going.
exactly, exactly. But Twisted Fate, people, I mean, I think the first clue I had to the size of League of Legends was that Adam Harrington, who plays like Shaco and all these other a ton of characters,
Yeah.
called me up and he was like, "I think you're in this game." And then he invited me to a competition in San Francisco, and we got up on stage, and I was the first person to do a voice into the mic, and I did Twisted Fate, and the place went crazy. And you can see it online. My expression is like, I cannot believe this.
That must have been a really cool moment though, because that was probably the first time you really got to see the fan reaction instead of just be like, "Oh, that's nice," on the internet.
Oh, well, see, I hadn't even heard anything on the internet at that point. So this was, well, I walked in the door and saw this huge auditorium filled, and it was like, these people are here to watch other people play the game. And then once we got on stage, it was amazing. And from that point on, people have been emailing me, and it's been really fun because voice acting is kind of a hide in a dark studio kind of job, and to have people want to talk to me about it is nice.
Yeah, sadly, I don't think a lot of fans will be asking you about your medical narrations.
That's fine. I understand. I don't want to talk about it either, so it's okay.
But one of the interesting things I saw with Twisted Fate, and this was shown to me a little bit earlier, and it's funny for us because I'm. Are you familiar with Gundam Style?
No, I've never heard of that.
Never, ever.
Of course, yes, I've heard of it. Yes.
It's funny for us because we've had Psy, the artist, on the station for like a year and a half before it even happened.
Oh, cool.
And so we were like, "Oh, the teaser's out. We're really excited." And we were just in general excited for the song regardless because we like the artist. And your character does the dance as an
Yes, I've
intro.
been asked to do the dance, which will not be happening.
Oh,
Uh,
you don't know it?
no, I know it. I'm just not doing it in public. But yeah, I remember when that came. I was watching the video. They had a video for me with the new skin for Twisted Fate, and that came on, and I just started laughing. And they were like, "What we need you to do is make sound effects like you're doing it." So I actually did a little bit in the studio there to get the sounds right.
Please, someone from the studio, if you film that with your camera phone, send it our way. Because if you don't know the dance, we do have a panel called "Learn to Dance Gundam Style."
Oh, good.
Yeah, just in case you ever come to a convention and we're in the same place.
That is helpful.
Yes, but I have to wonder when fans do fans ask you to dance it at events just because your character does?
Yeah, well, at the San Francisco one, which is the only one I've ever been to at this point, that I had a couple like, "Will you do the dance?" I was like, "It's not going to be the same. I don't have a cowboy hat or anything." So, so the answer is no.
And then there was a big aw.
Yeah, yeah.
On the
Uh,
plus side, for all the listeners that might be disappointed that you can't see him dancing, we're going to take a break and we're going to play Gundam Style for you and some advertisements. So how about that? So keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan, where we play everything you want and nothing you don't. Hey, everybody out there, you're still tuned to 91.8 The Fan, where we're celebrating our birthday. Whee!
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And you're still alive, apparently. We didn't knock you out with booze or anything. You seem like you're A-okay.
I did that to myself over New Year's, so now it's all recovery. So,
Oh, okay. Like
yeah.
I'm used to that because I live in Las Vegas, so
Nice.
everywhere everyone is partying. My mom's actually a bartender on the strip, always on New Year's, so she comes home with a lot of nice glowing goodies. Like I have this butterfly wand now that
Nice glowing
glows.
goodies.
Yes, glowing goodies. Like
N double G
I have like glowing necklaces and hair clips, and surprising all the rave stuff you can just get from a New Year's party in Las Vegas.
from your mom.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Well, she works as a bartender. She's not partying herself. I promise. Promise.
Well, I hope to go. I hope to go to Vegas for one of the next IPL thingies. I missed the last one, um, and my friends Adam Harrington and Eric Bra, who are Legends characters, went, and they only had good things to say.
Well, hopefully you can come by, and hopefully you don't lose a lot of money, and hopefully you party.
I leave all my cash in my room and play like $40 in blackjack, and then I'm done.
That's a good strategy because some people they don't know when to quit. Like they're like, I'm gonna win millions. No,
So,
you're not.
next one's mine.
Well, now, one of the really cool things that a lot of the listeners out there and a lot of video game fans got to see is you're a part of the game that won a huge award at the VGAs this year.
Yes, The Walking Dead is amazing. Um, that it has just hit 60 Game of the Year awards, which kind
Wow.
of blows me away. Number one, that there's 60 things to give Game of the Year awards, but it's insane that the response to that game. And again, like the League of Legends, a lot of the League of Legends characters are people in this game as well. Um, they're all local people. So, for instance, when Melissa Hutchinson won Voice Actor of the Year, she lives 3 blocks from me. Um, so I invited her over to my house, and she walked in, and I had everybody from the game, including Dave Fenoy on Skype, and Sissy, a couple other people on Skype who couldn't be there, to give her a surprise party.
Aw.
It was very cute, and she was caught off guard and was jumped and then cried. So it was very cute. But that game has been amazing just to hear the response from it, especially, I was bored last night and I typed in on YouTube, end of Walking Dead game crying. And there's all these people bawling their eyes out at the end of the game.
Yeah, it seems like a game that people got really emotionally attached to because of the characters and their performances and everything else.
Well, the writing is just stellar on that thing, and I tell people it's more a choose your own adventure cartoon than a video game, and they just really. Then you add in the acting. Melissa was just fantastic, and when she was nominated for the VGA awards, I secretly said to myself that it's done. I don't see how anybody can compete with her.
Well, now, did you get to see the VGAs yourself? Like whether from, on TV, or did they invite you? Probably
Oh
not.
no no no! They I was not invited. But yeah, I watched it, and I was unfortunately not feeling so hot. So they had a viewing party with Telltale. So I watched it online on Spike, and they watched it there. And there's a great video Adam Harrington put up of them going. The game of the year is The Walking, and the place goes insane, just scream, you know.
Oh, that's such a cool moment. Well, congratulations for that. I mean, I can't even imagine how everyone on the team felt.
Oh well, it's a small team, and again, there's a bias where LA is where only the real actors are, and I cannot tell you how many projects come up here on camera and off that hire people from LA, because they don't see them as they don't see Barry actors as the real deal, and between League of Legends and The Walking Dead, I really hope some of that changes.
That would be nice to see in the future. I mean, as long as the talent is there, why not use it? Don't always go to the big dogs. Or
Exactly.
or just to this is a personal argument of mine. At least go to the voice actors and not the on-camera actors that don't know how to voice act. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
that's I tell people is that the downside of video games becoming more popular is that they're switching to celebrities, um, and that's already happened in major commercials. Like every car commercial now has a national star attached to it. Um, and if you can go online and see who's voicing them, it's a lot of times I don't understand the pull because most people don't know who's talking
Exactly.
unless it's like Christopher Walken or something. Um, that would be an awesome car ad right there. But that's the thing is that's basically it's all going to celebrities at this point, and that's a really unfortunate thing because The Walking Dead, for instance, sucked people in, and there were no real celebrities beyond Dave Fennoy, who's known in the voice acting world.
Well, some of my favorite video games are ones that had casts of people I didn't know what they did, like ones that get me to cry all the time, like Final Fantasy X. I've played that way too many times more than I can count. It has James Arnold Taylor in it. That was like 10, 15 years ago. Oh
Hmm.
gosh, it's been a while. So, I just think when you have a medium like video games, you're able to do that, and it doesn't matter really, if they're a celebrity or not, because you just, as a player, we just care about the character.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but that's Hollywood in general. I mean, I make films, I make short films, and at film festivals, I've had programmers tell me if I get two short films or feature length films, one is excellent with no stars in it, and one is terrible with a name in it, guess which one I'm going to take?
The one with a name in it.
Yeah, because they might show up.
Eh, publicity.
Exactly, exactly. But overall, I mean, this game has just been so amazing, and people's reaction to it is just has been so great. Everybody's very nice about it. I occasionally get the very strange email, but on the whole, people just want to write me to say how much they enjoyed the game.
And it's a really cool company too. If anyone hasn't played their Back to the Future games, you should do that as well because Back to the Future is pretty awesome. And if I remember correctly, The Walking Dead was available for free for PlayStation Plus users, the first episode. I'm not actually sure if it's still available, but it was for like 2 months. So,
Well, the whole series is available, I believe, through Steam for $12 right now. So jump on that. And side note, I was in Back to the Future as well. I played Kid Tannen.
well, there you go. I hadn't even made the connection yet because I haven't, I'm switching back and forth. I got my cheat sheets here. But I just, whenever I think of their games, I always think of Back to the Future because I'm a hardcore Back to the Future fan.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I always tell people it's like I had a scene with Doc Brown and what's his name? God, the actor's name is failing me.
Marty McFly or AJ Lacasio?
No, no. I had scenes with with AJ as well, but I also had one scene with Michael J. Fox and the guy whose name is escaping me. That was in the original movie as Doc Brown in the movie. But
Right.
but of course I was never in the same room with them at any time.
Dang it. So you couldn't fanboy.
Christopher Lloyd.
Exactly, exactly. Oh my God. No.
Christopher Lloyd, so says our producer.
Yeah.
So sneaking off into the background. Now go back into the Batman, not the Batcave, Batman. Nobody will get that joke because that was behind the scenes, so nobody
Yeah.
understands.
She
Either
misspoke and it was funny.
it was funny. Anyway, well, for the listeners out there that want to keep, up to date on what you're doing, do you do the Facebook or the Twitter thing? Do you have any social media?
I do. For the I do the Facebook. It's Owen Voice, I believe it is, and then on YouTube is one of my else ones that I update a lot because I put any new stuff I do in there. That's Owen Actor, and then the Twitters I cannot remember.
Well, your blog says Owen Voice,
Hey, that sounds right.
so I'm gonna go with Owen Voice.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, so the Facebook one I update a lot, and hopefully this year I'm talking about doing more appearances. It's all about negotiating, what they want me to do and for how long and everything. Because especially with League of Legends and Walking Dead, the casts are pretty big, so they want to bring us all. And luckily, we're all really good friends, especially the Walking Dead folk, and um, so hopefully we can all come as a group.
I just imagine you guys, you meet as a group and then you party together.
Pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, definitely we like to throw back a few. And that's why I was like, when they said, "Do you want to go to Vegas?" I was like, "Well, all right."
Where's the strippers? No, I'm kidding. But I've had instances like that too, because we go to about 40 conventions a year, and
Wow.
I was just in Detroit in November for YomaCon, and it was party central the entire time.
That's like my only thing to relate it to is film festivals, and definitely some of these film festivals I go to, and I was like, I need to lay off tonight. Last night was the big night. I need to lay off tonight, and that never happens.
You wake up, you're like, where am I?
Exactly, exactly. Why were those women listening to me? I was talking nonsense.
But now, for the listeners out there who really want to know about anything upcoming in your career, do you have anything you'd like to promote or anything, you're working on that you can talk about?
That's the thing is I can't right now. I'm the one that I get the most questions about right now is I have to sign non-disclosure agreements at all times.
Right.
So basically, I can hint at these things, and so
So
there's
there's a
something.
ninja behind you. We know.
There is a ninja behind me. His name is Frank. Um, so with The Walking Dead, my character survived as far as I can tell. So let's leave it at that. And then for League of Legends, something very interesting is happening this year at some point. That one they were crazy about. They were like, "Leave your phone outside. You do not tweet anything. Don't do anything." So.
Well, we didn't hear anything. It's fine.
Yeah, that was pretty cryptic on my part.
Yeah.
I'd like to say.
We don't
But
know what you're talking about. It's whatever.
yeah.
We're good. Since we're nearing the end of this interview, though, we have a tradition here on 91.8 The Fan. I was wondering if you'd be willing to participate.
I gladly.
Awesome. We basically ask if you'd be willing to do a radio bump for us, but we do the takes live on air.
Okay.
So if you mess up, everybody hears it.
Luckily, I'm an actor.
Yeah. We basically ask if you could say, "Hello, my name is," you insert your name. "I do this," you insert like characters you are, or you're an actor, whatever you want to put there, improvise. It's up to you.
Hmm.
And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Okay.
All right, so whenever you're ready, you can do your first take.
Hey, this is Owen Thomas. I play Twisted Fate and Victor in the League of Legends, and I'm also Omid in The Walking Dead. And you are tuned in to 98 point no, and you are and you are tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. The numbers.
Do you just want to do just the last part really quick?
Sure.
Awesome.
And you are tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, my favorite.
Yay! See, that wasn't so bad.
No, it's just the numbers. I did okay until then.
Everybody gets the numbers wrong, but a lot of people who get it right, they cheat and they write it down.
I didn't do that.
He
I'm,
totally didn't.
I did write it down.
No, don't spoil it.
I
God.
mean that.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the listeners out there? Words of wisdom, dating advice, anything like that?
Oh my God, dating advice. Good gravy. I'm doing the internet thing right now, and it's terrible. I don't recommend it. Other than that, if you want to get into voiceover, I say find a local teacher who's with a good reputation, and you've got to try it. I mean, you'll always be more disappointed in the things you didn't try. So I always encourage people to give it a whirl. Um, I love to hear from fans. I really want to be at events. So if you guys know an event, call the event and tell them to get in touch with me because I'd like to be there and meet you and hang out and drink.
Or email them or Facebook them or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
And this was a lot of fun. Thank you very much for being so bright and bubbly.
Yay. It's what I do.
Yay. And for anybody out there that missed any of this interview, don't fret. You can find it on the website within the next few days. So keep your eyes peeled to 918thefan.com and your ears tuned to 91.8 The Fan, where we play everything you want and nothing you don't.